Hello, we got a 2-for-1 sale today. But no, I was thinking about the other thing that I did when I just literally just woke up this morning, and that's really not fair to people that actually like me or support me. Particularly names that come to mind are Mason and Betty B immediately. That's not fair. All that negativity and stuff that I've been putting out lately. Plus, I just had some arrhythmia and accelerated heart rate uh, because, like I said, I don't. CRPS is a weird thing because the not autonomic disease and the autonomic system is hooked up into your brain and to your emotional centers. So people can actually do you physical harm by doing you emotional harm in a more concrete way than just a normal person. Of course, you can make people physically sick by doing them emotional harm. They got that term emotional abuse for a reason, but you can actually give me arrhythmia or tachycardia or stuff like that. If I really actually take responsibility for it. If I allow myself to be upset by being kicked around by loved ones or having some weirdo on the internet say bizarre shit to me, and actually, you know, replying to him instead of just ignoring him. You know, as far as my name being out there, I don't know. I'm fairly naive, obviously, about people. Like, the one thing that my 25 to 26-year-old, because she was 25 when I met her, therapist said is she's like, you expect too much out of people. So I hold people to a higher standard just because the person I know best is right here. Okay. So I think of people like behaving like I would behave in a situation. You know, I'm naive and foolish that way. I'm not like, it's not that I'm not worldly, and it's not that I don't know what people can be like. It's like sometimes I forget. So, but anyways, I apologize to people like Mason and Betty B for being a negative Nelly these last few videos. And, you know, um, I guess that one exterminator dude's suffered enough, so I'll let him off the hook when I pay the rent. Just send him a mystery package along with the rent and tell the landlord to give it to him in a note because I'm not having any contact with him. My neighbor's going to take care of it. And, wrap up. I don't know how evil I want to be. I don't like being evil, but I don't, you really can't let people mistreat you. So I'll probably just sign, uh, write out a paper. I, Stephen Lee Barton, in case, now that the mystery has been solved of my name, which I already done told everybody. All they had to do was look that up. But the fact that that guy would go to the lengths to make sure that the my cousin Kirk, whose video I put on this morning's thing of him being arrested, and I was very impressed that it took like him getting tasered 3 times for it to take effect. Just they were like taser him again. The dude's like, I don't know how big he is in that video, but when his playing weight was like 325. But anyways, that sentence is a train wreck, and for that I apologize. I'm still not myself, and I won't be for a while. Well, I was saying that I would just write him out a piece of paper, whether to stand up in court or not. I, Stephen Barton, in print, release you of any financial responsibility regarding any extermination, exterminal. I'll make up some funny word or something to amuse myself. Exterminal miscues. I'll sign my name and date it and stuff, and then I'll have it's like his safety, and I release him from any fiduciary, uh, punitary monetary measures that may affect his wallet in any kind of way. You know, oh fuck, there goes my heart again. That'll, um, you know, just let him off the hook. You know, I won't even say, you know, he made me sick. I made him sick with worry for a time. So we're even. I have my own code. God damn, this ain't good. Maybe I should get off here. I did take a blood pressure pill and a Valium. The blood pressure pill is supposed to lower my heart rate. Fuck. It's like 90 degrees here, and this is Maslin, Ohio, which is about 60 miles south of Lake Erie, so I really don't want to go in an ambulance in the heat. And yeah, I just got accelerated heart rate. I don't have arrhythmia, but I'm a little scared, to be honest. I'm trying to mellow out. I was watching the baseball game, and I'm like, you know, maybe if I got on here and expressed myself and um, do my usual emotional alchemy thing, which the people that I'm talking to know what I mean by that, that I would feel better. I don't know how many beats that is a minute, but I can see it beating in my hand, like right here. You got that like ligament. I can show you better on this hand. You got that ligament in the veins, like right here. I can see that fucker popping. But yeah, so let the exterminator off the hook. As far as the landlord's concerned, I still feel like I have to, if I'm able to, you know, if I'm not dead or in the hospital or whatever. I still feel like it's my civic responsibility as a decent human being, and for my buddy Eric next door. It wasn't really my buddy, it was just a guy I liked. You know, I never was in his house. We would just talk sometimes. He was just a guy I liked. Once I threw him a hatchet out the window because he was trying to chop something up. And I was like, man, you need a better tool from that. You want a hatchet? So I threw a hatchet to him out the window. And I threw that hatchet with love, though. But yeah, you know, this landlord guy allowed a meth cookhouse to open up across from his house when he's got kids under 10 years old and a wife about 8 months pregnant. I mean, I feel like it's my civic duty to bring that out in court one way or another, that this guy does stuff like this because he's such a sociopathic monster. Um, and he's such a good con man, you know, and he owns properties all over the place. Now, I don't know if I said this before, but one time he came from one of his properties from the Newton Zone. I don't know if you remember me talking about the Newton Zone, but he came from one of his properties in the Newton Zone, um, Shorb Avenue. You can look that up on a map of Canton, since we're done with anonymity here. You know, um, you can even look up Newton Avenue if you want to and see what part of Canton that's in. But anyways, he came from there, and that's when he had a gun on him. So I've never seen him wearing a gun here, and he's had a meth trade and a crack trade flourishing here. I've never seen him wear a gun here, but he came directly from one of his Canton properties, and he was packing heat, and I didn't know it. And I don't know how the subject got around the guns or whatever, but he says, yeah, I've got a gun on me right now. I have a concealed carry permit. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, you want to see it? And he unzipped his jacket and pulled it out, and it was a Kimber 45. Of course, a guy that rich is going to have a $2,000 gun. And he said, "Yeah, I got the Kimber because it doesn't jam up. It's a higher quality weapon than the Smith and Wesson 45 or whoever. I don't know guns. I'm not a gun guy, but yeah, none of this stuff is good for me. But you know, being sprayed with poison, and then the anger and the text wars and all that stuff, being debated by people who are frankly a little bit out to lunch. Anybody that would hold on to something for like that for that long, it's like I forgot that guy existed. Like I remembered him once. I was like, oh, that's Jamie Two Rock. Okay, I remember him. He was like a guitar teacher, and we were friends for a while on the internet. And then um, I said something he didn't like, and he went psycho on me. And then I made a video about him where I was in a red flannel shirt. I don't remember when that was. And I looked it up through my videos, and I found out it was back in September. And I don't believe I've talked to him. Let's see, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. For 7 months, I would say 7 months. We haven't corresponded. He hasn't written anything on any of my videos. He finds me at my most vulnerable, where I'm all fucked up, and I'm even talking about having suicidal thoughts and stuff, and then he chooses that point to attack me and out my real name, which anybody could have found my real name, but writing it out in print for other people that are like just happen to stumble on the video is just not cool, you know. Whatever. But it's supposed to be a positive video, so I shouldn't talk about that. I'm just trying to. I'm just hoping to stay out of the hospital today. It's much too hot to go to the hospital. I'm staying in my air conditioned room, which you can probably hear the air conditioner going. And trying to think of something positive to say. Apparently, my Rottweiler story didn't go over too well, or my other story. I had two stories that I thought were pretty good, but I guess they didn't go over too well. But I had my Mad Dog story, and I had the other story about the Godfather, where I used a scene from a movie to escape getting beat up by four dudes who were youngish dudes, but there was four of them. So like I said, I am not kung fu master. I'm not beating up four guys. Okay, it's not happening. Even in my youth, not happening. In the real world, what happens is they don't fight you one at a time. A guy will come at you, and he'll fight you, and another guy will hit you in the back of the head with a beer bottle, which happened to somebody that I know. That's real life. That's not that's movie shit where it's like your turn. Nope, tag out. Tag, your turn. Or they come at you like from angles you can all see, and nobody gets behind you. You know, or the guy is so a swift karate guy that he just like does a roundhouse kick and kicks down all four of them or whatever. It's all movie bullshit. Real life, unfortunately, which I've had some experience with, little different. Little different. And yes, this is coffee I'm sipping, which is a bad plan for because of the caffeine. But I should be all right. They're just flares. You get like arrhythmia. It's not a flare. They call it a palpitation or whatever when you get that. Arrhythmia, you got arrhythmia. It's not going anywhere, whether you're drinking coffee or lighter fluid. It's not going anywhere. Uh, this is just like I'm in a spooky zone right now. Like one of these palpitations might decide to take up residence and become arrhythmia. So it's just kind of spooky. Um, but I don't know if it's probably because my CRPS is from a spinal cord injury, i.e., surgeries, three of them. So that affects my central nervous system, which consists of your spine and your brain, and so it's hooked like directly into my emotional centers. Your autonomic system controls your flight or fight thing. It gets your adrenaline pumping and all that crap. It's um it's interesting, you know. It works like on a yin and yang type of system because you got your parasympathetic, which is the cool part of you, and you got your sympathetic, which that's the part like when you get all ramped up, ready to go. In other words, that was my sympathetic system taking over when I pushed the dude out of the way and said, "Get the fuck out of my way." Or when I lose my temper or whatever, that's your sympathetic. Your parasympathetic organizes digestion and stuff. So if you get too, it frankly causes me to have digestive problems. I'm a very odd guy. I do not like to talk about my bowels. I mean, it. I know a lot of old people that are obsessed with that. My brother talks about it like his dog's bowels, like constantly. Because it's a big part of your life. If you got like a big ass dog that's got like issues like that, you know. But I don't like to talk about that. I don't like to do. I realize I'm like an old man, even though I'm 51 years old, just because of my health problems. But I don't like to act like an old man. You know, I don't like to talk about all these digestive problems and other problems that I might have of an excretory nature. You know, but no, that suicidal stuff that was just passing thoughts that I had. It's just I mean I got like I don't know how many bottles of the stuff now, but um, there's no reason. You know, I'm sure everybody has a bad day, and it's like um, why do I keep having to do this? Why do I want to keep going and stuff like that? And those are people with healthy and normal bodies, so I reserve the right as someone in my situation to occasionally have thoughts about uh, just leaving, just leaving y'all to your own devices. You know. Um, but yeah, um, revisiting the Jamie Two Rock thing, it's like it all stemmed from the fact that I said I don't listen to anybody. Now, in my family, my dad would tell me to listen. My mom would tell me to listen. It didn't mean hear what I am saying. It means do what I tell you. Okay, so it's all based, all his anger and all his, which was pre-existing, of course. He was angry before he ever saw me. But it's all based on a semantic misunderstanding, which I explained to him, but it doesn't matter to him because I'm just an outlet for his anger. Because he's obviously not a well person. And I believe he's on 2 milligrams a day of Xanax, which, you know, whatever that plays into it, I don't know. And since he wants to like out my name, out the fact that he was a former alcoholic, and I think that's why they switched him to the benzodiazepines, which is a common thing. I understand that they'll take an alcoholic and to help them quit with the alcohol, they'll give him a nice benzo addiction, not addiction, dependence. Um, so instead of getting the shakes from not having the alcohol, they get the shakes from not having the benzo that replaces the alcohol. So a lot of times you're trading a pretty big demon alcohol for the devil himself, which is benzodiazepines. So you know, but apparently it must work with some people. You'd think, or the doctors wouldn't keep doing it. I don't know. I never alcohol was never my thing. I mean, I My brother was an alcoholic. No alcoholics. Shit, spent time with an alcoholic a lot of time here lately, which I think he's in jail again because he was in a very bad mood. And then he was already hammered and he was getting on. He was looking to fight me, and I was like, I was like, I just bought you a remote for your birthday because you got a birthday coming up. And he said, you didn't say nothing about buying me a remote. You said you was going to give me a football card. And I'm like, remote actually is more valuable than the football card. It's a remote to the TV that I'm going to sell him, which I don't really even want to sell him, but it should just be a big heavy thing that I'll have to move when I move out of here, and he needs it because he don't have no entertainment. Keep him off the porch and keep him out of trouble. But I don't know if he's in jail or not, or if he made it home from the other night because he was already hammered and he was taken off and to get uh, some more dope and some more booze, and he was in a violent, PTSD kind of mood, to where I was like being real careful what I said to him. But I made him happy. I was like, okay, man, you caught me. You caught me at my word. Here you go. Here's a card. And he's like, thank you. And he's like, okay, I see I spent $12 for what seems to be a working DVD player. Um, no remote. And I spent $14 on a remote for the TV, which I haven't had a remote for the TV for myself for like ever. So that's $26 I spent, and we didn't even really know each other before you kind of like took over the apartment upstairs. But I'm just trying to help you out because I don't know, 'cause I'm a sucker. you know, it's gonna end badly, but I'm a sucker, so try to do the right thing. Oh no, Jamie Two Rock's gonna accuse me of having a big ego again because I tried to do the right thing and I buy people presents, and gonna let that guy off of the hook and give like a nice Browns starter football collection. He said he had kids, but I'm gonna like write him his little waiver, tell him I don't want any money from him and signing it. I don't know if it's legally binding or not, or if it has to be notarized, but if you don't take my word on the phone, you might not take it on the paper either. You know, I don't know how that even works, but I was giving him a nice little starter kit in case one of his kids a boy. Or isn't it the Browns, since the Browns are going to kick some ass this year? They can't help but be good. They just got too much talent. But it's football, and the injury bug will get you in football. Baker Mayfield goes down. Nick Chubb goes down. Then we got a problem. I got to check on Kareem Hunt's suspension, see how long he's suspended for. But all right, also have to check into the Duke Johnson thing. But this is not going to interest people who are not football fans or you know not from my area. So I'm going to shut up about that now. Find something else nice to talk about for you. Oh, I saw my cat's son outside. Because like I said, my sister palmed this cat off me. That was this cute little black cat. Wouldn't come out of his box, and I'll never forget it. Because I was saying sweet nothings to him, but he wouldn't come out of the box. He got transported in because he's a fairly timid soul, and I was like, "Oh, what's the matter there, little fella? Don't you want to come out, kitty, kitty?" And he did like this, and hid his eyes from me. It was so cute, and finally, I just left him in the box and left him alone, and let nature take its course, and put some food and water by the box, and just left him alone. He started to come out of the box, and then I opened up the window, you know, and at first he just peek and look out the window and be like, "Wow, there's like a whole world out there." And then he finally got the nerve to jump out the window, and all he did was jump out the window and catch a leaf on the porch, and then bring it back in and drop it on the floor. Like, look what I got! I caught me a leaf. I was like, good for you, dude. Yeah, he's gonna be a problem when I move because he's half wild. He just stays outside, and this is his neighbor. This is his home. This is all he's ever known, really. So I got him. He was a wee little dude. It's just irresponsibility of my sister allowing one of their cats to have a bunch of kittens, and she convinced me that it was bad for me to be alone, and I and she liked that cat. That was her favorite cat, and I was like, I just took it to humor her, and I forgot like that. Conveniently forgot that a cat is like a lifetime responsibility. So how could I live with myself if I move out of here and I don't take him with me when he's dependent on me for food? I'm not responsible for those other cats out there that eat my food, but I'm responsible for him, and I'm not even responsible for the ghost cat, who I used to call the white cat, the one with the cauliflower ear. I'm not even responsible for him because he was a grown ass cat when he started jumping in the window with my little black kitten, who I call Darkness. That's his name, but I hardly ever use it. But his name is Darkness, and I call him that off of the Charlie Murphy skit. I think Rick James, or Charlie Murphy's telling a story, and Rick James used to call him Darkness. I think that'd be a cool name for him. Yeah, occasionally I still pull it out of the bag and say, "What's up, Darkness?" Beautiful eyes. Something about the dark black fur and it really brings out their eyes. Beautiful eyes on those cats. And then his son's out there, and uh, yeah, cat's not a sociable creature, so the son has to. Yeah, you don't want to fuck with Papa. So today I had the two dishes working, so I got some for the Papa and some for the son. Then the white cat showed up, and I'm like, well, son, you kind of out of luck. And just threw him a glob of food. And I said, there's enough food there that you can eat their leftovers. Then there was this other cat, just kind of like peeking around the corner in the leaves. And I'm like, hey, you, I see you over there. You ain't fooling nobody. You ain't fooling nobody, because there's this new cat that's like an aggressive gray and white cat. He was like super aggressive, like crazy yesterday. And, like ready to fight anything. And he didn't look starved, but yeah, I kind of like spooked him yesterday. But there's plenty out there. They can clean up the leftovers, and when I'm gone, it's a hard life. It's why you're supposed to spay and neuter animals. I didn't neuter my cat, so you know, mea culpa on that one. It's just create more misery in the world. That's why I don't have children myself. You know, it's, um, uh, Afghani vet. So I tell him, man, you should reproduce. I don't know what's wrong with you. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not father material in any way, stretch, or form, or shape of the imagination. It's like I did my father bit with my nephew, and I played catch with him, and I tried to be fatherly with him. And he didn't have a father, and that was the best I could do. As far as me, I'm not that damned irresponsible to have a chronic disease and to have a child. Is like, that's retarded. I'm not even irresponsible enough to, at this point, anyway, after 2003, and I started to get progressively worse, I wouldn't be irresponsible enough to even make even get hooked up with a woman. It's like, man, you're just looking to suffer, you know. You're just looking at taking care of an invalid. What kind of somebody like wants to be a nurse or something? It's like, you know, yeah. I started to get bad after 2003, and got progressively worse. I was still in pretty good shape when I moved into this building, and like right before my parents died, I kind of like, um, I would say about 2014 or 2013 is when everything went to hell and I started getting my heart shocked a lot. And, um, yeah, when the disease started to catch up with me, I was able to stay on top of it somehow until then. Um, how this is a more cheerful video than my good morning video that was just based around some guy giving me a hard time last night. I don't know, but hey, this is my life. What can I tell you? You know, the guy in the wheelchair, he always likes to say, "You got to play the hand that you're dealt." You know, and so if I'm showing you a whole bunch of spots in four different suits, man, that's just the way it is. I mean, it's just the way it is. Um, but anyways, yeah, that wasn't really my place to get the cat neutered anyway. That was her place to do it. The person that gave me the cat in the first place. Not my place to do it. You know, she's just palming the cat off me because she, you know. Here's another story. It was like I used to be a sports card dealer. I'm going to be a sports card dealer again here for a few months, come football season. Um, but I used to make supplement my income doing it, and now my brain ain't working. Damn it! What the hell I was talking? Oh, I was a sports card dealer, and I sold like my Randy Mosses, and I sold like all my better cards in order to raise money to give to them to get their cats fixed, and them will remain anonymous. But you know who I'm talking about because they just had like there's this thing like cats do where they just like pee everywhere. Then you got all these you know, I don't know. People get upset with me. That's why the name thing is kind of important. People get upset over the truth. You know. But anyways, I raised a bunch of money selling sports cards so they could get their cats all fixed. And so I'm not exactly sure where this other kitten came from. It might have been like before they got their cats all fixed. I don't know. Too long ago for me to remember. That cat's pretty old now. I don't even know how old he is. 7, 8. I don't know. A long time ago. But yeah, it stripped my sports card collection. Now I just got a bunch of stuff that's not easily sellable. Uh, as far as like my stuff from the 2000s, I got a line. Let's see, it's going off in 15 minutes where I can get a pretty good, pretty sweet deal uh, on some sports cards. If nobody bids on them, which I can make some money off of because I know how to do that through bitter experience, which I've learned my lesson. You know, I did that for years, so I learned my lesson about the sports memorabilia business. How you have to think like a collector at all times, or think like a dealer, not like a collector. Don't ever think like a collector and say, "Oh, that's a cool card. Somebody will buy that." No, you have to think, "I can carve up this lot. I can sell this for this, this for this. One card will cover the whole lot." Like I did once with the Emmett Smith rookie. It's like I paid like $55 for a lot of cards that had an Emmett Smith rookie in it, and I sold the Emmett Smith rookie for $51, and it's like all the rest is gravy. After that, all the other cards that came with it. That's how you do it. But yeah, I think I feel okay. I mean, maybe this helped, maybe it didn't help. I don't know. But anybody that's a long time listener To me, he don't deserve all that negativity that I've been putting out there lately. You know, true, getting sprayed in the face with poison and then dealing with my landlord and stuff. Not going to put you in the best of moods and all, but still, even still, come on now. I was talking, or the guy next door in a wheelchair, he loaned me his wheelchair. And I guess his good wheelchair was fucking up on him, and he fell because of it, because it didn't lock, well, it's not locking right. So it spun when he tried to lift his way out of it, and he fell. And I was like, "You get hurt?" And he goes, "Nah, just bruises." I don't know if he's being sarcastic. He's kind of an odd cat, but you know, he was like, "Nah, I didn't get hurt." And it's like, I don't know whether to believe him or not. He's an odd guy, but he texted me yesterday and said, "Are you using that wheelchair?" Because he gave me a wheelchair that he never uses, but I wheeled it back over to him and I talked to him, and he didn't know anything about the me yelling the landlord out of here and all that stuff. I just said, I just told him, like, he's strange about accepting gifts. He doesn't trust like kindnesses, random kindnesses. He doesn't like to be indebted to nobody or nothing like that. He made me pick open a box that had like five meals in it and a couple of extras like muffins and cookies and stuff like that. And I said, "You can just take the box. I got plenty." And he made me open the box, and he only took out like 3 meals. And he said, "You want any of this other stuff?" And I was like, "What?" He's like, "I don't want this bread," and he's like, "I don't want this." And you can have the cookies that are here. And I'm like, "Those juices are good." He goes, "Oh, here, you want those?" And I'm like, "No, I got like 3 other boxes in here. I'm just saying those are good. You'll like those," because there's this little juice box of things. And but anyways, I lost my train of thought on that. I'm still not going to be right for a little while yet. Right for me, which is a little bit more coherent than this, I think. I need to shorten my sentences. I am not up. Yeah, I need 2A. Who's famous for short sentences? I need to Hemingway the fuck out of my sentences. You know, no Victor Hugo sentences. It's not gonna work in the state of mind I'm in, or like how I feel and physically and stuff. And mentally, I'm not quite right. Because it takes me a few days to recover from uh, getting mistreated by loved ones. Which some people would say, what was that? That's no big deal. Just argument. That's what their argument is all the time for. And I'm like, you gotta understand, I'm living with a different nervous system than you. It's like it affects me in a different way than it affects you. You see how funny I walk and stuff like that? Just apply that to my brain and my emotional states. It's like I am different than you. I work differently. When they start messing with your central nervous system and taking out pieces and taking out ribs and taking out vertebrae and putting you in halo traction and stretching you out and stretching your spinal column and doing all that stuff to you, yeah, and then you get CRPS. It has, and the CRPS has an effect on you, and I've explained it to them a million times. They don't care. They can't, or they can't help themselves. I don't know which. So I just have to forgive them and just understand that they were raised in a fucked up way too. Not everybody gets good parents or functional parents. A lot of people get good, well-meaning parents, but they don't get the uh, functional parents that are like doing the job right. They get well-meaning people with emotional issues, baggage left over from their own childhood. I'm gonna leave you to look at my pleasant face for just a moment and minimize this. Well, I'm sorry about that. I thought I could minimize uh, the camera and then check out this auction that I was watching, which I just bought. and it would just keep running, and then I could just check it out and then go back. But it seems like you minimize the camera, it turns it off. So I have to splice this together in the Bobby, and it'll take forever to download and whatnot. But yeah, I went ahead and bought it because it was a 2 card lot. Well, what do you care? If you don't know baseball or football cards, what do you care? But it's autographed. There's 3 things you like in a card. Let's put it this way. You want an autographed card with a certified auto. You want a numbered card, and you want a rookie card. So this card was all 3 of those. Plus, I get a rookie jersey card of Nick Chubb, a guy who rushed for 976 yards last year for the Browns in only 10 games because they had a stupid coach named Hugh Jackson that didn't start him. He rushed for over 100 yards on 3 carries against the Raiders. You know how many carries he got the next game? 2. That makes no sense at all. So he never was a starter. As a starter in 10 games, he's averaging almost 100 yards a game. He's also the hardest guy to tackle in the league, yards after contact. So, I couldn't let that pass. It was, you have to know what the cards are going for, but it was only like $20 uh, for the cards. And it's like, you can sell the one card for $30, and whatever that I make off the other card is gravy. So, but I didn't know it would turn the thing off of there. I was thinking about my name. My name is a good serial killer name. It's got 3 names to it. Stephen Lee Barton. That just sounds like somebody that kills prostitutes, doesn't it? That's a good serial killer name. It's not a name for a sweetheart like me. I gotta stop eating this trail mix because that would be rude. I was eating trail mix while I was waiting for the oxygen to end. It's pretty good. It's got like peaches and dates and um, raisins and uh, pears. It looks like fancy. I wish I had a whole ton of it. This is very uncomfortable. I'll take my glasses off so you can see my beautiful eyes, which I don't have beautiful eyes. My eyes are just brown. I have bags under them. And I'm old and wrinkly. But anyways, um, no, I just read Mason's comment while after I been on the auction. He made a very good point. It's like, why are you stressing over what people say to you? It's not good for you. It's like, what do you care? They're not, basically they're not you. So why are you, it's like, can't argue with it. It's right. It's right. Can't argue with it. Not gonna try. You know. So I just didn't like the fact that he actually did the research, which it was very minimal research, and found out my last name and put my last name up. It's probably the only reason why I responded to him in any serious way at all. Is because that is not cool, man. I mean, you know, suppose my family suddenly develops an interest in my life and looks up online, and then they're truths, but not everybody likes the truth, and they're reading these truths that I'm telling the world about them. It's really I hardly ever get an audience of more than 70 people. I mean, a couple of my older videos, maybe 153. A couple of them that are more benzo oriented. Actually, the one that in the flannel shirt has 670 views or something like that. Um, you know, I do not score high on the likability factor. That just, you know, uh, I don't know what that means or what that's about. I never have. But anyways, so now people are gonna come and kill me if they want to. That's fine. Nothing wrong with a little good assassination. And, you know, um, whatever. I don't care. I was just keeping it secret, my name secret, mainly for the sake of my family, you know, because they got a right to be wacky, and yeah, I don't tell everything about them. Like, like I don't, like I said, like through my cousin in Florida, I could tell you some things that will curl your damn toes, you know, with the horror of it. But out of respect for him, I don't do that. I don't tell everything on here. But the stuff that I do tell, it would alienate my family and offend them. It's like, how dare you tell the truth? Well, you can get on the internet and pay me back and tell the truth about me. I really want to eat this trail mix. I'm sorry, I can't do that in front of you. That's so rude. Keep reaching for it. You can get on the internet and tell the truth about me. You can call me a lazy shitbag, whatever. I'm a lazy. I admit it. I haven't maximized my talents. I like to lay around and wallow in self pity. I do have a very large ego, which I find to be necessary. As far as my ego about written debate, that's not ego. That's just, you know, that's hammered out and tested in the minds of Moria, man. That's just fact. Yeah, that's fact. As far as me remembering words and my affinity with words, it's just like that's also fact. Um, I'll be the first to admit that I suck at math. That I say stupid things around people in person, and that I contradict myself from time to time. And I'm just a flawed human being, just like you or anybody else. Like Mason said, I don't have to justify myself to anybody. It's like, why you even bother doing it? Doing that? It's like I just didn't like the fact that, you know, he outed my name, and there's a link on the last video of, like I said, of my cousin Kirk getting tasered. I'm like, man, you better taser him. You better taser him, man. Taser the hell out of him. That was a big cop, though. When he slammed the door on the cop's arm before the other cop tasered him. That was a big cop, man. That cop might have been as big as Kirk. I mean, that guy was tall. He had to be like 6'6" at least. Looking like James on Ness on Gunsmoke. Man. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel bad for being like a downer and stuff lately. And the truth of the matter is like all those threats about civil court and stuff. Those were just me blowing wind. You know, on the text. And yeah, I'm lying to the guy. Sure, you know, I'm lying to the guys. I said civil court it is because he wasn't being reasonable. And as I pointed out to Jamie, it's like we had an oral contract. There is such a thing as an oral contract. We had an agreement. It involved no lawyers. It involved no signing. It involved no papers. I said we can sell this just between us, like men. He's like, how does he know he's not going to? He's just going to mail me a check. You know. Then he talked to a lawyer, and the lawyer's like, well, he'll just keep like taking money off you, or he'll drag you into civil court anyway. Or just extort money off you, threatening to take you to civil court. Putting all these ideas about what an evil son of a bitch I am. And now Gerald should be a good character reference for the type of person that I've been. Excuse me, I didn't mean to do that. For the type of person that I've been since I've rented here for 9 years, and I've always been honorable. I never screw around on the rent. I always look out for his property. I even go so far as to turn off the toilet when the toilet's leaking to save him money. This is how I used to be. And, you know, you couldn't want a more stand up guy. But now, Gerald, of course, feels threatened. So, Gerald, being a sociopath, is not giving Cass a true insight into my character. So, um, yeah, so yeah. At one point, I realized, like, you know, I kind of wanted to drag the Cass guy into civil court just as another excuse to expose Gerald for what he was. You know, it had nothing to do with the Cass guy and getting poisoned. I mean, I've been feeling bad, but it might be because of a million reasons. I got a million things wrong with me, but it had nothing to do with the Cass dude. This is about this guy letting drug dealers here and letting the drug trade flourish here and keep it. He knew that I was thinking he was responsible for what went on down here. And so, it's like I said before, he's taking drug money as rent, and he's just not telling me if you see drug activity, you should call the police. Why? Because it's going to interfere with his cash flow. If I call the police come down on the crack people, and he don't get his crack rent no more. And he's got to bring in new tenants and go through all this hassle. It's much better to take that blood money. Now with the meth people, that apartment was being paid by uh, ICANN, which is a subsidiary of I can't even remember the name of it. Um, my mental health professionals, Coleman Professional Industries or something like that. But they're like a subsidiary. They were allied with them. In other words, you could go to Coleman and ask for help, and then you can get ICANN to help you pay rent. So he was getting guaranteed rent up there with the meth head. So it wasn't like the meth. He was taking meth money that was coming from ICANN. But at the same time, meth activity was there, and I was telling him about it. Everybody in the neighborhood was telling me about it. You know, like and how much they hate him. You know, this guy over here, especially that moved and everything. But yeah, that's the only reason why I would have drug Cass in the civil court was to have Gerald as a witness. And but really, I'm not healthy enough to put myself through all that. Just that aggravation over, like, I'm getting arrhythmia and shit in my own house in air conditioning. Um, just getting aggravated by some random stranger on the internet after getting rib kicked by a family member a couple of days ago. So yeah, that's not a good plan for me to go through the stress of a court trial and all that nonsense. You know. Um, but like I said, I feel like it's my civic duty to at least make some court aware of the fact that Gerald enables drug dealing, ruins neighborhoods, and ruins people's lives. It's like, and I will do that in eviction court at some point. Hopefully, I will be well enough to do that. You know, I will be out of the house. I'll have my scooter. I'll be able to take care of myself, which is a big, big deal to me. It's like my pills, I think, came in today. I got nobody to get them. I can't get them. Even if I wanted to hire the Chris guy to push me in a wheelchair to the drugstore, you know, I'm supposed to be saving money, so I don't really want to pay Ubers and taxis. I mean, I don't know. Should check into that, I guess. Especially since it's like right over there, right over there. It's like a quarter of a mile away. So it's like, this is stupid. Um, and, I don't want to humble myself and have anything to do with that household over there that's causing me all the grief and ask them to pick up my prescriptions because every time I interact with them people, it costs me money or they want to borrow money, one or the other. I got to pay the one guy $20 to do simple chores in the neighborhood for me that's supposed to be my brother. The other people want to borrow money off of me. It's just enough aggravation off of that. You know, I had a phone call where one person was saying they just wanted to talk, and another person from that household was like, um, right away said, I don't want to ask you to borrow money or anything, and they got habits, which I won't go into. And, it's just too much stress. Just dealing with the Afghani war veteran guy, you know, that's really too much stress. It's like the cigarette habit's starting to get a hold of me again, and that might have something to do with the arrhythmia. I don't know. I didn't smoke any cigarettes yesterday or today because I think he's in jail, frankly, because he was spoiling for a fight and belligerent as hell, and he was drunk, and he was hopping a bus to get drunker and higher. And I think he's in jail, and he's probably going to lose his job, which is a goddamn shame, because he was going to get paid triple time for working on the 4th of July and make about $600. And I hope that's not the case. I mean, that, I don't know if that's what happened. I mean, he's just not around. Didn't hear him come home last night. He's not been on the porch. He hangs out on the porch because he doesn't have nothing but his phone for entertainment. And so he just likes to hang out on the porch a lot. I haven't seen him. I could call his family, but his family knows less about him than I do. And I could text them and say, like, is Chris in jail again? You know, which I guess now that you know my last name, I got to stop using for people's first names. But I don't know. I know I say shit like, if you don't want the truth out there, then be a righteous son of a bitch. And stuff like that. But, you know, it's a tough thing being alone in the world. And the truth, and if it's truth that people don't like, they will kick you to the curb to hold on to their lies. And that is a mortal fact. Um, I don't know, maybe I'm incapable of making an upbeat video, you know. Like I said, I thought the story about the rabid dog was good, and the other story about the Godfather pretending to wrench with a gun in the pocket was good. But yeah, I got some like 3 negatives on that video, so maybe that sucked too. So maybe my video's been sucking lately, or they're depressing. I don't know. But oh yeah, I do have something positive to talk about, and here it's glaring me right in the face over here. So, anyways, I got this free cripple phone um, with unlimited texting on it, and it seems to work okay. It's from Assurance Wireless, and they just call it a lifeline. It's supposed to be for people with disabilities and stuff. So I was able to drop my house phone, and that was costing me almost $50. And then these yahoos came here that were like independent contractor, those dudes that walk door to door to try to get you to change your service and stuff. And they were like, I'm like, I already have AT&T, and they were like, but we can get you your internet at like $30 a month. And I'm like, well, that just doesn't make any sense. I was like, why would a company compete against itself? It's like, you already got me locked in for $77 a month, and now you're going to offer me $30 a month. And here it's, they're working on commission, so they want to get people signed up, as many people signed up, so then they can get their commission. So it's all legit and stuff. These guys really work for AT&T, but according to the person I talked to on the phone at AT&T, um, he said that we do not offer any rate like that anywhere. Those guys were lying to you, or they were expecting a bundled package with your phone. In other words, you'd still have to pay for your phone, which you want disconnected, and then you get that rate. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I mentioned that the phone would be disconnected. And goes, and I said, and also the one guy just walked in my house. This is what I said. I said the first guy asked to walk into my house. And I said you can see the box and the equipment if you want to look at it, get the number off it or anything. And he's looking at it, you know. At least I didn't give them my social security number or anything like that. They let me punch it in, and it comes up all X's. You know, I mean, I'm not a tech guy, so maybe they can still use it to defraud me or steal my identity or whatever in this screwed up age. But the next guy comes walking in, and you know how people are about the black and white thing, but it had nothing to do with that. But it's just a detail of the story. There's the first guy was a large guy of Asian descent. You know, by large I mean he was pretty darn tall. You know, they're young people. The next dude just happened to be a black dude. And he just walks in my house. The door wasn't even open. You know, he just like the other guy's in the house, so I guess I can come in the house too. No, can I come in, sir? No, nothing. I look at him. I don't get up off the couch or nothing like him, but I give him the mean mug. And I'm like, man, you got to be careful whose house you're walking into without announcing yourself. And he just looked at me like, oh, what? He didn't say much. He had a sour expression. He wouldn't make no eye contact with me after that. That was just leftover bad mood. But that, you know, that isn't cool. You know, anytime, even if the other guy was in there, anytime you enter somebody's domicile for the first time, you ask permission, or you say something like, "Can I come in, sir?" or something like that. He just walks right the fuck in, and you know I'm not letting that slide. But anyways, the company, this guy I talked to, and I talked to him before. His name's Matt. That works with AT&T service. He's like, those guys are shady, and frankly, if they got caught doing that, um, you know, they're going to get disciplined. So they might have got themselves, I might have got them in trouble by calling the company. I don't know. But he's like, you get fired for that. He's like, because, of course, you can get fired for that. You already got me locked in for $77, and then you're going to give me a $30 a month rent and telling me I get higher internet. And he was like, sir, the Mac guy was like, we already offer you the highest internet speed available in your area, you know. And uh, so these guys were just like door to door con men. And, you know, but what I didn't understand about it is like the guy was like, listen, what I can do for you. Maybe he just wanted to be, I don't know, maybe he just wanted to be a good guy or whatever. But they have like a loyalty discount because I've been with them for so many years. So that phone call actually shaved $10 off of my bill. Just they just call it a loyalty discount because I've been with them for so long. So my bill went from uh, 77 a month. I forget what the it w- it went from like 77 a month to 63 a month, which was $14 less. I don't know where the other $4 came from, but I read the email and it said there was a $10 loyalty discount since I've been with the company ever since I moved here. And excuse me, it's higher than other services, but I like reliability. You know, I've had like they call them Spectrum now, but it used to be Time Warner Cable. Horrible company, man. I was always having issues with them, and that's back when like I I didn't know about streaming stuff, or they didn't stream stuff or whatever. But you be downloading a movie like a 750 megabyte movie, and you get on a 650 megabyte, and then your internet goes out, and you've been waiting for this movie for like 8 hours, and then it's all wiped out. You lost, you lost it. You don't get it. That's only certain kinds of files. No, that did that with like AVI video files, like an MPEG or an MPG. At the time, you could still, if you crapped out like in the eighth inning, you still get up to 8 innings. But if you crap out in the eighth inning on an AVI file, you're back to the first pitch of the ball game, man. You got nothing. So, um, so yeah, that's a good thing. I was able to shave my uh, internet and phone bill down to from 123 down to $63 a month. So that's $60. I still have a phone, and the phone's free. Um, I don't watch TV. I'm trying to sell. If I can stay out of jail, I'm trying to sell this guy this TV for $150. You know, which beautiful TV. It's a plasma TV. But it is 10 years old. But it's got very low mileage on it because I don't watch a lot of TV. It's just got a beautiful picture in it. The problem is with a plasma TV, you get that reflective quality. Like with a computer screen, you don't get that mirrored thing. Like I'm not going to be seeing my garbage can in the background here as a reflection of a movie I'm watching. You know, I'm like, man, that couch in that movie, it looks a lot like my couch. Oh, that is my couch because it's, you know what I mean. It's like a mirrored surface. I don't know what that's called, but some computers you don't get that at all. And I think on HD TVs nowadays, you don't get that at all either. But this was a plasma TV. It's a heavy son bitch too, man. He was talking about like, oh, I can get it up there myself, and I'm like, no, you can't, because he's a little feller, strong but little feller, and it took two full size guys to carry that thing. And I seen a old woman carrying a 42-inch flat screen TV in a box by herself out of Best Buy once. I'm like, man, they make some light damn TVs nowadays. This TV ain't like that. That TV weighed more than that old woman did. So, yeah. So, yeah, I'm not all grim and gloomy, and I still haven't even bothered messing with this microphone for some reason. The microphone on this computer is pretty good, and that microphone's a tad better. But I haven't been able to jump back into. I was doing real good progress with my book here, and working on it, but I haven't really got into that since I had that little vacation with the uh, bed bug crisis, where I was busting my ass every damn day, bagging shit up, trying to prevent the bed bug scourge, which I haven't seen any, with the possible exception of a newly hatched nymph, which I couldn't even like. I put it like right up to my eyeball, and I'm like, I don't know if this is like a newly hatched nymph or what this bug is, but it's dead. But I haven't seen any sign. But like I talked to my cousin in Florida, and he said what happened with them is they didn't have any for 2 months, and then they had them again, and then the exterminators come in, they didn't have them for 3 months, and they had them again. They're just ridiculously hard to get rid of. So, um, so yeah, that's positive stuff, right? No bed bugs. Um, my TV I used to pay $70 a month for. Is That's $70 more in my pocket than I'm saving. What was that, like $60 off of my phone and internet? You know, so that's $130 more I got in my pocket. Um, what else positive can I think of? I mean, sooner or later I've got to hear from the. Damn, I can't ever remember their names, but I got to hear from the motorized scooter people. I still haven't called them. Um, that's supposed to take like 3 to 6 months, and I think that was in May when my doctor was saying he was going to fill out the papers. And I'm kind of like, why I haven't been, I've been putting off calling him is I don't want to hear him say, we didn't get the papers from your doctor yet, because my doctor's kind of, Dr. Wacky Pants. I call him that for a reason. He's kind of a wild card and unpredictable, but I think I made an impression that day. I think I reached him on an emotional level, and gave me the big arm around the shoulder pat and thing and all that, because I told him, I was like, you really do care about your patients and their welfare, and I said, my medical history, so that should mean something, me saying that, you know and he wouldn't look me in the eye, or he looked emotional or something about it over it. So I think I made an impression on him. I didn't say he was competent though, so I didn't lie. I said he cared because he does care. He cares about his patients. He's just like with the benzo thing. He just handles things incompetently. And here's a call back for you. How are you doing with your Ativan? I'm not taking any Ativan, sir. Um, yeah, but he does care. He does like get emotionally involved. I've seen guys like cold blooded as hell. Doctors that were just like you were nothing to them, and you knew you were nothing to them. You were a lab animal. And they still had that bedside manner, but you knew it was fake. It was like Gerald's bedside manner. You knew it. You know that. You know. You know that underneath they care. The only way they care, the way to make them care is if you start uttering the M word their way, like malpractice. I remember like when I got CRPS, the guy that did the spinal reconstruction surgery was kind of like hedging his bets, and he's like, you might have had this even before uh, we did the surgery, and I'm like, kind of sweating out that malpractice shit, ain't you? Like, I don't need to get in your wallet. I'm thinking to myself, I was just a kid then when he was saying this shit. I was like 19, 20 years old. And he's like, oh, this could have been a pre-existing condition that you already had. And I was thinking to myself, bullshit, man. I come out of that second surgery you did on me and my legs were on fire. And that's the first thing I said is you people are supposed to operate on my back, not my legs. It's like this was the result of what you did, but I ain't dipping in that guy's pockets. Maybe that's a stupid way to think. I could have been set up pretty good. Maybe that even hurt loved ones. That kind of an attitude. But it's like that guy had no evil intent toward me. He just wanted to do the best job he could as far as fixing my spine and doing right by me. It's just something that happened. Why should you have to pay for something that happened? That's the way I was looking at it. So, you know, my parents, it would never occur to them. They're not litigious people, so it would never occur to them that, like, we can get a pretty serious lawsuit over this and say that, this guy got CRPS, an incurable disease, as a result of surgeries done by this Dr. Nash, whose card I showed up on here. But I could tell that guy was a good doctor and a good dude, and he wasn't doing that. He'd never do nothing like that on purpose. I mean, why would he? Just open himself up to a malpractice suit, you know? Same as the cast guy. Why would the cast guy like spray me with poison in the face on purpose? He wouldn't. But I felt like I deserved some sort of compensation for being made sick with the cast in the cast guy's place. In the place of the doctor who reconstructed my spine and was part of the halo traction with the screws in the head and all that. That guy there, man, he still fixed me up. Even though he gave me the CRPS, because he straightened down my spine, he still did me some good. I didn't get a whole lot of good about when getting sprayed in the face with poison. I'm not saying that helped me out in any way, but yeah, both of them are accidents. But I felt like I should be compensated for that guy's incompetence, and that's why I was like, I want $500. It's like that's 4 days of my life where I've got a headache, and 3 to 4 days. You know, being mellowed out somewhere between 3 and 4 days. That the constant headaches, and I got my sense of taste back in 24 hours. Um, I didn't know he was going to turn like $500 into a big deal. I'm going to extort money off of him or like drag him into court. It's like, dude, if I'm going to crush you, I'm just going to come after you and I'm going to crush you. Like, he didn't understand. Like, he actually said this to me. He didn't know what tachycardia was. You know, he didn't know what a cardioversion was. It's like, Because I was like, do you know what those things are? He's like, no. You know, it's like tachycardia is when you get an accelerated heartbeat. And I didn't talk about arrhythmia. I said a cardioversion is when they have to shock your heart back into rhythm, which I kind of did talk about arrhythmia, you know. And I said I also got this thing called CRPS, but it's just, I didn't say that CRPS. I said I got like a neurological disease. That's why you saw the walker and the stuff. So he knew I was pretty fucked up, but he was still willing to not trust me and make me sign that waiver. You know, like shit. I don't even wouldn't even know how to go about extorting someone. You know, or keep coming after him for money. It's like, give me $500. Why the hell would I want to put myself through that kind of stress and have some goon wait for me and hit me in the back of the legs with a baseball bat? That shows you the people that I come from, though. And say like, this is the end of the $500 a month deal. You understand, son? Because the next time it ain't gonna be your knees, it's gonna be your head. That's just the kind of people I come from. So that's what thought popped in my head. But no, you know. See, even if I got the $500 off them, it's like uh, the waivers, of course, keep me from coming to put an end to it. But we had an oral agreement on the phone that like that was the end of it. There was no talk of lawyers. There was no talk of signing anything. There was no talk of anything. I said, look, you mail me in the check for $500 and damn thing's over. And you know, he agreed to that. And then he like talked to a lawyer, and it's like, no, the lawyer was probably like, no, no, don't do that, don't do that, you know, because you're still liable. You don't want to do that. And Joe was like, this guy's a fucking animal. He's a beast, man. He's got no morals. He's liable to say or do anything. Look at the stuff he's writing me about drug dealing being allowed in my building. I'm such a sweetheart. I would never do anything like that. Who knows what happened behind the scenes, man? But yeah. But no, I probably do something. This is really fucked up. This is probably what I'm going to do. Is like when I pay the rent, I'll probably like slip a C note into an envelope. This is wrong. Into an envelope and just have like a bunch of blank papers on there, and then write cash on one, and then the rent money on the other, and then give instructions inside the rent money to deliver this envelope to Cass. And in the envelope would be like 50 or $100 bill that says, you know, a man. I'll write it out on the bill. A man's word is worth more than $500, and uh, and then maybe a little note saying, you know, I hope you seem like you could use the money more than me, and here's some football cards for your kids. And then I guarantee you, man, he'll never forget me. He'll probably never forget me for the rest of his life, period. But now he'll never forget me or understand me for the rest of his life if I do that. If I drop a C note for getting sprayed in the face when you know I'm saying civil court, and it's like I will rape you in court metaphorically, and you're stand to lose a lot more than $500. I've been insulted. You've insulted my honor and all that stuff. That I would do that just to I would consider that $100 well spent. We'll see how that plays out. These people that only care about money or think that people see like I think like people think like me. It's all projection, right? It's like I'm projecting like morality that I have that other people don't onto these other people. These other people are projecting their own view of the world where it's all about the cha-ching, it's all about the money, and it's all about protecting the cash and all that. You know, it's like um, from Gerald's point of view, it's he doesn't care if his money's being paid with crack sales. He don't care. His money is money. So they project their point of view. They're like, this motherfucker. Steve, he's got an opportunity to score himself some cash, so he's going to grab that shit. And they don't understand that there's this Steve guy don't give a fuck about money, man. As long as I have enough to eat and to take care of myself. And um, I've been poor my whole life, man. Being poor ain't shit. It is much more fun being Steve and being poor than it is being some rich asshole like my landlord. I fucking guarantee you. Because you gotta understand, man. Like, imagine how cheerful I would be if I didn't have CRPS, if I didn't have neuropathy, if I didn't have all the problems I don't talk to you about, if I could walk, if I could leave the house. You know, I'd be just so happy I would make people sick. Because I got peace of mind. And I know I'm a good person. And yeah, yes, I do let people drag me down from time to time to their level, but that's, and fill me with their toxicity. But uh, yeah, man, for me to actually be smiling and laughing and starting this video out with arrhythmia and worrying about being in like the heart, it should just show you, you know, that how much money is really worth. I mean, money is worth a lot if you're starving and you don't got no place to live and you got no place to sleep, or you have a family to take care of, or you have ambitions of having a family, or if you want a family, then it's a different deal about money. But money don't mean nothing to me, man. I'd give that guy money just for the irony of it. I'd give that guy money for spraying me in the face with poison and be I might right on the right, and that poison was the best poison I ever tasted, man. You taught me how to appreciate food again, because I couldn't taste shit for 24 hours, man. But once that poison wore off, I started tasting food again. That food, it was like that strawberry on the cliff in the story of the tiger, where they told it on King of the Hill, I think. That strawberry, it was the sweetest strawberry he had ever eaten. And I think what somebody said, I don't mean to insult you, but that's a terrible joke. It's a proverb. It's a good show. Uh, yeah, but in case you don't know that strawberry on the thing, I think the guy has a choice that he's stuck on a cliff and he's going to fall and he's holding on to a branch, but it has a strawberry connected to it. And there's a tiger at the top waiting, so he's dead either way. And but so the strawberry, it tasted sweeter because of death. The moral being that because we live finite lives, that it adds value to things. Something I've never bought. You know, um, uh, this coffee doesn't taste any better because I'm going to be dead in 10 years. It just tastes like coffee. Like I never bought that whole theory about that. The atheists love to spout that theory out, though, man. Like death lends value to things, and it's like, yeah, I bet you go to sleep at night thinking death. Yeah, or no, better yet, I bet you if you have arrhythmia, you're thinking, boy, this arrhythmia, it just adds so much value to my life, knowing that I could expire at any moment and have a massive stroke. It just makes this coffee taste so much better. Anyways, I thought I owed my loyal followers something a little more cheery than what I've been dishing out. And this morning's video was quite a bummer. And I appreciate Mason's insight into the whole matter, which is, why you even bother with these people? It's like, why, yeah, it's like, yeah, well, yeah, can't argue with that. You know, that's one thing, man. You can't argue with the truth, and right is right. Can't argue with that. So, my ego is not so big that I'm going to try to argue about that. I can only tell you my reason for coming back at him is like I didn't like him coming out with my name and just putting it in print. I think my name is actually kind of musical. Stephen Lee Barton. Still sounds like a serial killer name, but Stephen Lee Barton. It's a little bit of a musical name, I think. It just kind of flows off the tongue. And it's going to be on here anyway, sooner or later. If I, universe willing, if I can put up an acceptable version of my novel. I don't know how much more practice I need doing it, or or how. I've got to have high standards on it, though. That's the thing. But I would really like to do with it, though, man. And I guess certain thespians and Artie Lang, the comedian, is actually the drug known now mostly for drug use and attempted suicides and shit. He could remember shit like you wouldn't believe. Like you could just read, he had like crazy memory. So, but I wrote this thing in the first person, and I would have loved to just look into the camera and talk to you like I'm talking to you now, and just have that shit memorized. But I can't even remember the lyrics to Stairway to Heaven, so that's just a pipe dream, man. I can't do that. That would take me forever, man, to pull that off, and it wouldn't work. I just have to read it the best I can read it. Um, but yeah, that would be awesome. And then like I don't want to spoil too much of it, but one of the yeah. Oh, what the fuck, you guys! By the time I'm done, you probably won't even remember this video, but you can call it the Three Faces of Steve because it's all written in the first person. There's a reason for that, but one of the people that it's written from is a woman or a female character. So I could have been like I could have acted all feminine, and she's smoking a cigarette and stuff, and yeah, it would have been fun. But I don't have that kind of talent. Man's got to know his limitations. Clyde Eastman said that. Yeah, Clyde Eastman was the uh, script writer for Magnum Force. No, I don't know. I was trying to make a joke. Um, but yeah, that would have been awesome if I could pull that off. But I don't got that kind of talent. I know it, and it'd be enough for me to read it on here. The novel is constructed in such a way that's so interesting. It's like two novels are a slice of bread, and I got a slice of roast beef in the middle. So you got a novel, you got a fairly long short story, and then you got a novel, and they're all connected, and it's pretty damn cool. Gotta say so myself. But not being an ambitious man, and not caring about money or not wanting a family or anything like that, as of 2003 at least. Um, I'm not going through all the bother. I mean, it's the joy for me is the joy of creation, of making it, writing it. You know, money. I mean, it's easy for me to say that, right? Because I'm on disability. I can just lay on my ass and collect you all taxpayers' dollars, try to pay you back a little bit with some free entertainment. All I got to do is pay for it with, well, pretty much everything. Pay for it with a lack of sex life, with the inability to walk, inability to wear a shirt, bowels that are quizzical to say the least. Other problems I don't want to go into, and I will make that video though, like showing my physical personage, because like now that my name's out there, I don't care. I don't care. I mean, if it grosses people out, they can always turn it off, or whatever. But yeah, just a pair of shorts and some very good lighting. Unfortunately, my lamp I had to cut the cord on is over there. That's why I got problems with this. But I got some pretty bright light. I can even get natural light, so you know I can even use a flashlight and everything. And then I'll use a mirror to show my back to the camera. I don't have an external camera, and obviously I'm not a tech guy. But this video's got to be approaching an hour and 20 minutes, so I think that I have paid back my few loyal fans for that bummer of a video I made. I literally just opened my eyes and put on my glasses and turned on the camera and started talking. And how I came up with the chicken pecking thing from a book I read 30 years ago. That's an interesting thing about the human mind. The human mind, it saves up everything. It's in all, your whole life is in there somewhere just because you can't access it. You know, just because you can't access it. Why in the hell would I even remember that? You know, most people just remember Nurse Ratchet's boobs popping out. They were bigger than anybody ever expected. The people that read the novel, because she was such a cold, miserable bitch, and she would tape her boobs down because she had a big, huge rack on her, and the one guy ripped her shirt off or something at the end of it. I think the Jack Nicholson character that was in the book. I don't remember what his name was in the book, but I remember the part about she would turn the therapy sessions into an excuse to make the mental patients abuse each other, basically. You know, and if you'll remember my story from when I was in a psych unit a couple of Januaries ago, where that old lady put her hand on my arm, and the moderator just stopped me talking, because I'm a little intense, and I've had an intense life. But this old lady put her hand on my arm, and she said, You're scaring the people, honey." You might remember that. It was not my intention. To me, it was just an entertaining story. But yeah, I'll leave it there. My throat's a little raw, so I'm going to chew some gum and maybe watch some baseball. And so I'm kind of tired of just laying around and watching baseball, but well, maybe I'll get so tired that I'll actually pick up my book and something real, do some real work instead of just watching other people do their thing. Man, my beard looks weird, don't it? It looks like, yeah. I got I took the clippers to my head, which was a chore, and I've been ignoring my gray beard whiskers. Old man, take a look at my life. I'm not like you were. Never gutted a man in my life. I don't like violence. I did inherit your temper. That ain't no lie. Damn near made Gerald run out of here and cry. Old man, take a look at my life. I'm not like you were. Got that bad temper, but I don't believe in putting people down in the hospital. Okay, that didn't rhyme, so I better stop. Bye bye.